Welcome to I See You, a podcast where we know that human connection restores mental health and resilience. I'm your host, Julie De Jesus, and I see you. Let's be friends. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the I See You podcast. I am excited that you're all here. It's a fall crispy day here in Utah. We're recording in October, and I'm excited to be on the line. That sounds very old. I sound like I'm 80 years old, but I'm excited to virtually be with my friend again. Megan, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Hey, listeners. I'm Julie De Jesus, founder of I See You Living. No matter what we do here, we are all things I See You. That's why I've rebranded my keynote speaking and consulting as I See You Leadership, a branch of I See You Living. I help leaders turn human connection into their most powerful strategy for keeping great people and bringing out their best. My secret weapon? What it's always been, being real. Remember, happiness isn't your business. Connection is. Visit iculeadership.com to find out more. I should say your last name is Pyrah. Megan Pyrah, correct?
Correct.
Got it. Cool. Megan, we are good, dear friends. Interestingly enough, we have only spent limited time in person together, but I feel like we're very close considering that. Tell listeners about yourself, and then will you just introduce kind of how we met?
I felt a little out of practice, like giving my elevator pitch of who I am. My life has kind of shifted over this last year, but yes, I am a woman who always wanted to be a mom, but also loves the game of e-com. So about 10 years ago, I jumped into the game of e-com and selling products online and just took off with it to the point where we built, bought, and sold several businesses. And then I started coaching on that. And I just love to be with people that have a dream and a goal. And I just kind of want to give you a little kick in the butt to go do it and stop holding yourself back. So that's a little bit about me. But Julie asked me to come on here today. And I asked if we could talk about a subject that I don't think a lot of people talk about. And she was like, heck yes, let's do it. And part of that story.
And you are the woman to do it. I'm so glad you're bringing it up because you said it and I was like, why have I not thought of that? But because I feel strongly about it as well. But I'm like, no, you're the person to do this conversation with.
Yes. And I hear a little bit about it, a little bit. And I'm just wondering if my algorithm on my social isn't picking it up, or if really not a lot of people are talking about it, or they're talking about it kind of roundabout it.
Mm-hmm.
And that topic is, I don't have a lot of friends. I'm a grown woman and I just don't have a lot of friends. There's been time in my life when I've had a few close friends, and for whatever reason, different stage came along, distance, whatever, we're just not friends anymore. We're not close. We don't see each other. And I find myself at this stage kind of going, who are my friends? And why, am I the only one? And I'm like, nah, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
No.
And so instead of having a big pity party for myself, which honestly, come on, I did let myself do for a little bit. But then I decided, well, I'm just going to go find the friends and I'm going to be the one to go meet the people, because I would rather have a whole basket full of people I know and fun experiences than being like, I'm so sad for myself that I don't have a couple of close friends. So hi, I'm Megan. I would love to be your friend. And
she doesn't have very many.
Just might walk up to you and say, hey, let's be friends, which is almost exactly how I met Julie. So I was at a conference. Julie was speaking on stage. There had been a couple before her. And instantly, Julie took the stage with a presence. Julie took the stage with a command, with a tone in her voice. And I thought, okay, she is one of my people. She is someone where I was like, yes, okay, I could connect with her. I don't know who she is. I don't know where she lives, but I kind of want to see if we can be friends. So as the conference went on, there were other speakers. Julie wasn't in there. I went out and Julie was at her table selling her books. And I walked up to her and I said, hey, I think we could be friends. And
then I swear you said, I'm your new best friend. I think that's what you said, but maybe not. I don't know. That's how I remember it. My name is Megan, and I'm your new best friend. And I was like, immediately, yes, I knew. Yes, you
Okay,
are.
I held my breath because I was like, this could go either way,
It could.
right?
I could be a
And
weird person.
and right. And your response was, "Yes, I love friends. Let's be friends." And I was like, "Okay." So we stood there and talked. And that's kind of what we want to dive into more of today is like,
Mm-hmm.
are you willing to have the courage of a 5-year-old who goes up to anybody on the playground and says, "Hey, let's play. Hey, you're my new friend," right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to have the courage of a 5-year-old right now and just go up to Julie and just see. Worst thing is,
Mm-hmm.
he says no, or we feel awkward for a few minutes. That's like worst case scenario. And then
Yeah.
I go back to my seat and I don't have to see her again, right? Best case scenario, we
Mm-hmm.
become friends,
Mm-hmm.
which we did. We started video chatting.
Mm-hmm.
We hit lunch together. I attended
Mm-hmm.
then your wedding later in the year. Like,
Yeah. You came to my wedding. Yeah.
all just
Well, and I
because
just spoke at a
willing.
conference and you were like volunteering. You texted me, you're like, and I like literally hope no event planners are listening to this. And as I'm saying it out loud, I know I've said this on the podcast before. So obviously this is a condition or a problem I have, but I was so last minute with some things. And you texted me that you were at the conference and I was like, oh my gosh, will you grab me a table? Oh my gosh, like, please, will you help me? Can I actually tell you my life feels like it's falling apart today? And here's why I did it. But like, you were just like a safe sounding board of like, yes, I'm going to be there and it's going to be amazing. And I'm so excited to go speak. And life is for realsies right now. And I do not have my shiz together. And we'd
Right.
already established this where it's like, I got you, and I
Right.
like to think I do the same.
Right. With just kind of limited time, but like that time was good.
It
It
was
was good.
really
Like
good.
the limited time that we've had. So anyway, I just thought, let's talk about this. Let's talk about like
Yeah.
if you're listening, like raise your hand. Like, do you kind of feel maybe in the same boat, right? Two hands, two hands raised. Like,
Two
I can be
hands.
friendly with a lot of people and maybe I don't have a lot of friends. And the way I've decided to sort of frame it is like, it's really okay. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who's going to go out and find my people. And one of
Mm-hmm.
the things I asked you when we first met was, well, where are you located? Because there was a time I was very stuck, and I'm going to use the word stuck in like, my people need to be like in my neighborhood, in my town, within a
Yeah.
few minutes.
Convenient.
I think it's great if they are and if they can be, but that has not been something that has necessarily worked out for me. We tend to move a lot, and I'll say that in air quotes because I think there's a lot of people that we have met in moving that buy that house and they're there for 30 years, and we're there for like 3, and then we're jumping somewhere else simply because I love to meet people and I love to experience a new culture and a new place and those different things. And we kind of feel called to do it as our family. And
Mm-hmm.
so I leave those friends or people I've become friendly with. And I've just decided, like, okay, distance doesn't have to keep you stuck. And that's something that,
Mm.
I want people to be able to hear. I have adopted a way to look at it. I used to have a circle of friends. We were in close proximity. We knew everything about each other. We hung out a ton. And then that circle of friends kind of fell apart. And I started on this journey of, okay, what am I going to do? And I adopted a new shape for my friends and the people that I am friendly with. And that shape is a horseshoe. Okay. A circle is closed. Nobody comes in, nobody goes out. But a horseshoe is open on one end. So people can flow through. I don't have a clique that's closed. I've got a horseshoe that's open. It's like, hey, you want to go hiking with me? Let's go hiking. Hey, I'm going to the park.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be there with my kids for like the next 30 minutes. Who wants to meet me there? And I've started to invite people to gather with me instead of waiting to be invited, instead of scrolling social media and being sad because I see people that I have invited to do things, then I did not get invited to do things. Now, we can take a moment, we can feel that, right? That's valid, that's true.
Yes.
But I like to invite because it fills my cup. As a mom who is now in a round 2 of parenthood, is what I like to call it, where we have little kids again. I am back in with the moms that have little kids. but I'm an older mom. Now, I won't say I'm old because that's just a frame of mind, but I'm back in with the
Right.
moms with kids, the moms who
Yeah.
are setting play dates. And I love to go to the park. I love to be outside, but it can get lonely. It can be not something that fills parts of my who I am, right?
Yeah.
And so I love to invite other people. If other moms can be there, one, my kids have a much better time. And two, I get to connect with somebody, which then makes me feel so much better, like just generally as a person. Like I get my
Yeah.
cup filled in a way that only friendship can.
And I feel like if we're married, our husbands are so happy we do this. And let me tell you why. You're already laughing. We both know why. I'm recently remarried. You and I have talked about this a little bit. Kind of like you're like a young mom again. I'm like I'm like a newlywed, but I'm older and stuck in my ways, and so is he. So it's a good time. So our arguments are the best because it's just like, well, I'm not changing and you're not changing. Just kidding, not just like that, but we like to joke a lot about it. But it's been this interesting dynamic where I had 3 years where I was single in between, and you kind of get into a rhythm of how you do things. And so I work quite a bit from home, or I'm on the road with speaking and things. And so I really learned to fill my own needs, which is great. We should all learn to fill our own needs no matter our relationship status, but I learned to be social in the evenings to get out of the house, right? When I didn't have my children. So I wasn't just home alone because I'm already home alone a lot working. And it's just been really interesting, and it's taken me a while to kind of figure it out that he is with people all day at his job, and then he comes home and I haven't been with people at all. And I'm
I,
like, it's like a
I
gold
I see you and I feel you.
and I'm like a golden retriever. I'm like, what are we gonna do? Should we make a plan? Should we go on a date? Like, what should we do? Like, do you want to go to this? Should we go on a hike? Should we do this? And he's like, oh, hi. Wow. Okay, well, I haven't had dinner. He's like, could I
Mhm.
just sit down for a second? And I'm like, I've been sitting down all day. That doesn't sound fun. What should we do? You know what I mean? And I'll be honest, like, I have had my feelings hurt many times where I'm just like, did it save?
It says
Did
it's
you
still
stay on? And did
I
I
did
just go off?
I did
You
stay
stayed
on.
on?
Yeah.
And it's
It said
still recording. Okay, so we can just have my assistant. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. Okay, great. We'll figure that out later. Never had that happen. I was like, it just said whatever. Okay, Carly, here we go. Start here. So I have had, anyways, it's just been a learning curve that I need to have more friends. And like you said, when you texted me, I love how I was like, what should we talk about? I feel like you and I could talk about a lot of things. And you're like, how about that I don't have a lot of friends? And I was like, me too. I feel like I'm friends with a lot of people, but I don't have a lot of like friends. And I wondered so long, like, is that my fault? Like, if do I g- I questioned this like multiple times a week. I'm like, do I give off the vibe that I like don't need friends? Do I give off the vibe that I like am above needing friends? Or am I just a lot that people are like, oh, maybe not, like maybe in small doses? I don't know. But what you just said, I love, because I think I was better at that when I was a young mom, because I was going so insane at home with kids that it was just this easy thing of like, we'll take our babies to the park, like, because our babies in car seats want to play together. Like, obviously, right? It's like, it's a chance to get out, which is awesome. But yeah, I loved, oh, when you walked up and you're like, I'm your new best friend. And I was like, I'm obsessed with this because, and this isn't to toot my own horn, I have done that same thing so many times. And I will be honest with listeners, I have not always had a positive reaction. But
Oh,
that's okay. They're not my people. Like, that's okay. I'm like, I probably am too much for you. I would probably drive you insane. And that's okay. Like, it's better that I don't want to freak you out, but man, I need people. Like, I freaking love my husband, but like, that's insanity to expect your husband and your kids to be everything. At least for me, for my personality, I don't know, it doesn't work.
I there are too many. I was gonna say there's so many, but there's too many interesting, amazing, talented people in the world to just limit yourself to like your husband and your kids, your spouse, like, right?
God
And
bless them. Yeah.
that's one thing that I love. So, yes, not everyone is going to give you a positive experience, but they're not the people that you're looking for. And it's like, okay, great.
Mm-mm.
We had a small interaction and we bounce. We just part ways. And I think sometimes in our head, we maybe make that too much of a big deal. So,
Mm.
those that are listening, I want you to think like, Okay, I'm willing to go through a few seconds of like an awkward interaction. And really, it is just a few seconds to get to something good, right? To get to those people that when you walk up to them, say, yes, like, let's find out what else we have in common. And there's a few like really simple ways, simple steps that if I can share with your listeners, Julie, I would love to, of like
I'll
how to
allow
be.
it. I'll allow it. I'll give you permission.
Okay. Okay. So I think with social media and movies and media, just all the things like we see we see all these videos and reels and movies about girls trips and our lifelong friends. And so I think we think we're supposed to have that. And
Mm,
when we don't, it's exactly what you said, like, what is wrong with me? Am I giving off a weird
mhm,
vibe? Right? Like,
mhm,
what do I need to change? All those things, right? And we start spiraling down. Well, we don't want to do that. Because I'm here to say, like, hey, I don't have friends. Maybe you don't have friends either, and you're not alone, right? So it really just starts with saying hello. And I know that sounds so simple, but I walk every day. I'm running errands, grocery store, kids' school, whatever. I will say hi to people when a lot of people will just pass by. But I say
agreed.
hi.
100%. Yep.
And if I can, I give them a hand wave. Like I saw a thing and some research
Mm.
stuff. We love a palm. It shows that we're open. It shows I don't have anything to hide. If I walk past you and I've got my hands in my pockets and I say, "Hey," kind of like I don't.
Shady.
Yeah,
What's in your
right.
pocket? Yeah, you
Like
got a gun in there? What's going on? Yeah, like a survival instinct of like, what?
I can't see your hand, but if you're like, "Hi," or just a "Hey," totally different, right?
I'm obsessed with that because when you're training a dog or when you're picking, okay, when you're, come with me on this journey for it'll
Okay.
take 2 seconds. When you're picking out a puppy, I remember, or when you have a puppy, they talk about it's really important to put it on its back and hold it and like touch its hands and feet a lot because it
Mhm.
learns to be like safe and almost submissive with you and just like comfortable that like you'll take care of me if it's willing to like put its paws up and let you like touch them. Okay, so I know this is a slight leap, but I think there's just something to be said. It's like a vulnerability piece of like,
Yeah,
hey, we're the same. Like,
yeah.
hey, I'm not carrying anything that you need to be concerned about. I'm a human like you. Like this is just humanity. Oh, I'm obsessed with that. We love a good poem.
We
I've
do,
never
and
thought about that.
I'm obsessed with high fives. And I realized,
Mm,
oh, it's a connection. You're doing a touch, and it's like you're open. You're open to doing that. And so, like, I high five people and kids all the time. Like, it's like, I mean,
I'm obsessed.
why not give more high fives? Like, can we all just cheer each other on for like, you made your bed, high five? Like someone celebrate me. I got the dishes done and I made it through the day, and like someone give me a high five, right?
No, like I'm thinking about my kids coming home in a couple hours. I'm like, why am I not high fiving them more? Like, what a great idea.
Yeah. Like,
And
it's
it's
just
physical. If we know anything, like I'm a former teacher. I think, were you a teacher ever?
no, not officially, but
Okay.
I taught dance. I was an assistant coach at a
Yeah.
high school, and then I've been a business coach.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, you like have done a lot of you've done a lot of teaching in your life, right? But I'm just thinking about that. I'm thinking just about like different learning styles, but how
Mhm.
it's so smart in teaching to connect it to the physical, and that's why we have them act things out and do pantomimes and all. Like I took a drama class in high school because it was like that's how you really get material to sink in is by ingesting it and digesting it different ways and producing it in different ways. And so that makes so much sense to me that not only are we going to say it and we're going to see it, we're going to even hear it,
Yeah,
right? We see it, we hear it, we feel it. It's like how many senses are we engaging in
right.
connection?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
it's so cool.
some people will high five you and then like hold.
Mm,
So one of my daughters, she
like
every time
this?
I
Like,
yes, yes, like I'm always ready for like a hit and a back, but she likes to hit and then give like a hold and a squeeze. And I'm like, okay,
I
okay,
like
that's
that.
just her thing. So I
Like,
have started doing this everywhere I go. I'm like, hi, hello, right? Like, hi. And people are sometimes surprised if
yes,
someone we're
yes.
we're not just both head down, ear pods in, going by. Even if I see they have ear pods in, sometimes people just ignore me and they go by, and I'm like, "Hey, great!" Like
Well, because
literally,
it's keeping you in the habit of like, no, I'm not like gonna go to Wally World, right? The movie Wally where we don't do this. Like I'm still gonna choose human connection.
yeah, yeah. And then, okay, one day I, without thinking about it, was walking with my hands in my pockets on this same walking trail where I pass people all the time. And it was just kind of like a relaxation thing. I didn't need to be pumping my arms. And I was just like, this is nice. And I was walking, and there was a gal coming towards me, and we were kind of on the same like plane area. And I tried to make some eye contact with her, but the closer we got, the further to the side she tried to pass me, even though I said hello. And I was like,
Hmm.
that was weird. And I giggled when she passed because I realized my hands were in my pockets. And I was taller
Hmm.
than her. I was bigger than her, had my hands in my pockets. And she just wanted to,
Interesting.
maybe she felt a little uncomfortable. Maybe she just wanted to give me space. Maybe she did not want to be talked to. It could be a million things. But I
Yeah.
just thought it was so interesting that I didn't have my hands out swinging. She couldn't see them. I didn't raise my hand. And I was like, I literally just saw it in real life. Like, hmm, someone got a little something when they couldn't see my hands.
Yep.
So it's so easy. And just by saying hello, I have had some people start a conversation with me. And maybe if you're listening, you're like, oh my gosh, that is like worst case scenario for me, right? But
All the introverts out there are like, immediately no, I'm never high fiving anyone.
yeah, right, right. But I'm out there seeking to be friendly because I would love to add some more people into my horseshoe of friends. So this also gives me practice of being like, okay, what do I say next? Right. So I love to think of it as like I'm fishing. I'm just throwing out a bunch of lines with hooks on them. And the first hook is a hi. And like, if there's anything else to say, great. And sometimes I fumble through it, but really, I'm just looking for what do we have in common. So I did this the other day. I was at the school, and I'm not always at the school to pick up my younger kids. They love to walk home, but I had forgotten to tell them they had to stay at school afterwards to hit a new activity. So I was there, and I was standing there. So there's all these other parents. I'm like, I don't know any of you guys because I never come here after school. This girl was standing just a few feet away from me. One, I loved her outfit, and she had a kid kind of running around, and we were close enough that I was like, yep, we could be talking. So think of yourself in that situation. Like, are you just like, I'm good? Like we're just going to stand here and we're watching the door waiting for the kids to come out. And I'm like, you know what? This is the time. We might not become friends, which is fine, but I'm going to come off as friendly when you
Hmm.
see me again. And this also gives me some practice so I can be a better friend. And so I just turned to her and I said, I completely love your outfit. Like that vest, I love it. And she's like, oh, thank you. She's like, Target. And I'm like, really? Okay. Because that was going to be my next question. I was like, where did you get it? Because I think I really want one. And she's like, oh, yeah, this is how much it is. They have it in this color. And then it kind of ended. And I was like, okay, kids aren't out yet. Right. So, like, I'm getting practice. And I said, do you have a kindergartner? And she was like, no. And again, the conversation kind of ended.
Yep.
Right. So, this, like I kind of kept it going. And then she asked some things, and we found this commonality. And the awkward just left. And then we were talking. And then at the end, as the kids started to come out, I just circled back and I said, so I'll be hitting up Target. If you see me here to pick up my kid again and we're matching, just like take that as the biggest compliment. And she was like, okay, I will. Right. And then we left. I don't know if I'll ever talk to her again,
Yeah.
but like I was friendly and becoming a better friend for someone around me, and for the next people who come along. And that plays into something else that let's talk about for a quick second. I think being lonely helps you
Mm.
see other people better. I think it gives you better vision for maybe someone else who might be. Like, I feel like I just see better. Like, I see better with my heart, I see better with my emotions, and I see better, like, with my eyes. Like, you know what? Maybe that mom is just like, I haven't talked to anybody all day. I'm like, I don't know. But if I can leave her maybe feeling like she's a rock star because of her outfit from pickup, then why not? Right.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to be lonely. And so I had to change that for myself. I had to go, okay, I'm going to go find some people. So it starts with saying hello. Bonus if you give a little open palm with it. Okay, my second thing is I invite people. I don't wait to be invited.
Mm,
And because those invitations might not ever come. Now they do come. I wish they came more, but the more people I become friendly with, the more invites and tend to come my way. And so I will just invite people. I'm willing to say, hey, I'm going on a hike. I'd love to fill my car. If you don't want to hop in my car, you want to meet us there. And again, sometimes nobody can or nobody says yes, right? But I would rather do that than say, well, what if nobody says yes? Well, I don't know because I never asked. The other thing
mm,
I don't do is I never say no for people. I never say they're too busy. And I never say
mm.
they'll probably say no because I don't love when people do that to me. People might look at my life and be like, you're a young mom again, you got little kids, you're so busy. And I say to myself, oh my gosh, I am not. And I'm like, I would love connection. Like, if you think I'm too busy, I will make some room for some connection and a
Well,
little bit friend time.
and sometimes, so you think like I sometimes make myself busier because I don't have anything going on. And so instead of sitting and feeling sorry for myself, I make myself busy. Sometimes not in the ways I need the most, but at least I'm not idle, being lonely. I'm like, well, I'll work more. Or well, so like in
Yeah,
general, I don't sit around a lot. I do stay pretty busy, but that's not always because I don't need more social. It's you know what I mean? I love
100%.
that not saying no for other people. Obsessed.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
that.
It's something I have learned to do in business when I am trying to do a collaboration, when I want to connect with somebody, when I want to get in more with somebody that this might be beneficial, I will not say no for them.
Mhm.
I will let them say no. I will let them ghost me. I will let them, but I will not do it for them. So
Have you read The Let Them
I
Theory by Mel
haven't yet.
Robbins?
I
Oh
haven't.
my gosh. I mean, you'll love it. Like it's preaching to the choir, but so much of what you're saying, she says almost word for word. There's this joke I love. It was on our episode with Braden Eads, who was my friend. And anyways, he had a kid. He was like super made fun of, sad kid in
Mm,
his like little coat at recess with no friends to play with. He would like go in a ball because he had no friends, which kills me. And he had this kid walk up to him that was like one of the most popular kids in school and was like, "Hey, our moms know each other. I hear you knew. Like, do you want to be friends?" And he talks about how it like changed his whole life. But what he says is, I think it's so you can go back a couple episodes, people, if you want to listen to another just great one on how to create connection kind of out of nothing.
yeah.
He says this joke where he's like, the hardest thing to believe about Jesus is that he had 12 friends in his 30s, like 12
Mhm.
consistent friends in his 30s that he spent time with, right? And I think there's a reason for that because it's just with all the change in our life, with all the stages we go through, like we're like it's we don't have that framework of college or high school or if you're at the same job as me or proximity, all of that. And so I think this is really valuable. What I love most about all the things you're offering, about never saying no to people, about giving high fives, having your palm up, all of this is lifestyle changes. It's
Mhm.
not the specific I'm going to do this to get this result because that's not how life works. It's not transactional. You don't always get the friend, but I'm going to become the type of person that gives high fives, that doesn't say no for others, that puts my palm out, that says hello. I'm just going to live that type of life and let things follow. Like let good follow. When you try to be a good person that genuinely wants to help improve the world, improve our level of human connection, to see others,
Yeah.
when you want to become that type of person, I think friendship follows. That's been my experience. I mean, as much as I say like, yeah, I also don't feel like I have a lot of friends. When I say that, when I'm feeling that the most, that is on me. I am letting myself be consumed by other things. And sometimes maybe that's necessary, but like I am capable of going and finding friends.
Mm.
And so if I'm feeling that, it doesn't mean I haven't been wronged or other people haven't done, other people couldn't reach out to. They could, but that's not in my control. So it's just being proactive or reactive, right?
Yes, 100%. And there's something you said that I want to go a little bit deeper into is when I invite people, like, hey, let's go do this. Let's meet at the park. Let's go for a hike. Let's go for a walk. I do it without the expectation of then being invited to something in the future,
Yep.
which can be hard when like, you were just at my house, last week. I invited you, you came, and now you're out at dinner and I didn't get an invite, right? Like that can be hard. But that's also not, it's just not who I want to be. And that's exactly what you said. Like start showing up as who you want to be, right? I don't
Yeah.
want to be that. I don't like how I feel, And so I'm like, I don't want to stay there. And so I just invite without those strings attached.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and in my experience, I've found part of that for me, what's helped me get over that hump of, oh, they did this and didn't think of me is the hard and relieving reality is that people do not think about us as much as we think they do.
can you please
Right?
say again, louder
People
in the back, right?
people do not think about us as much as we think they do, both positive and negative. Like
Yes.
people have their own lives and they are in general also have tunnel vision just like you and I do lots of days where
Mhm.
whatever their worry box is full of is what they are staring at. They might have seen you for a second and thought, "Oh, what a nice girl," and then they are on to the next thing. And that's why it's so important to be in charge of filling our own needs because other people are stressed out like we are. But man, when someone else invites me and like gets me out of that and is like, "Hey, don't be so busy. Come do this." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I do want to do that, right?" In general,
Yeah.
like I love that, but it takes intention, especially in our day and age. People are not thinking about you, both bad and good. They're probably not thinking, I'm not going to invite Megan to dinner.
Right.
Unfortunately, they probably didn't even think about Megan. Or fortunately, right? They probably someone invited them to dinner and they're like, cool. And that's as far as that thought went. They weren't
Yep.
comparing it, but then it may have even been like, I mean, I know people before where I've invited myself to something where I'm like, hey, can I? And they're like, oh, totally. It's like, I wouldn't have even thought of that, but of course you can come. And I'm like, I could have sat and spiraled about that all day long. And guess who? It never even crossed their mind to worry about it because they have their own worries. Like,
Yeah.
we just and as kids, I remember that in child development classes, you learn about that perspective change of all our Tony Overbay, who's coming on the cruise with us in January. He always talks about this. It's like we're all baby narcissists that like we literally can't see that other people have a different perspective than us. Our perspective is everyone's perspective. But as we develop and mature and get that emotional maturity, we realize their perspective is totally different than mine. It's
Yep.
theirs, their life, their kids, they're like they don't think about me the way I think they do in this moment. This is a me thing
Yeah. Yeah.
in general, right?
Yes. Totally. So if we start with the high in the hand,
Yep.
then we go to invite others to things that you are already doing, the things that you enjoy to do. Like that's just another fishing line. Like,
Yep.
you want to come hiking? I'll find out the people
Yep.
that are like, I am not a hiker, or I've got a baby, I can't, or, and then, then there's the other people that are like, tell me what mountain, I'm there, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we're gonna reel in on this person,
Yeah.
right? And
100%.
and you can get through these as fast as you want to. Some people, you might stay in the high step for a while, and that's okay. Like
Yep.
you do you, right? Okay, third one is invite yourself, which I love that you just said, right? Like that you would invite yourself. So once you get through the first couple of steps, like start inviting to stuff. And again, it might be
Yeah.
awkward. It might be.
Yep.
But so we're in a newer neighborhood and I'm getting to know the people around us. And most of the people have been here a long time. And so I'm coming into these friend groups and these friend circles. I'm like, hey, girl with the horseshoe here, like welcoming friends in. And they go to Lake Powell a couple times, gosh, maybe like
No.
times a summer. They've got a boat. Their brother has a houseboat. Somebody else has a houseboat. So they're always like meeting up. And a houseboat is something my husband and I have been like, we would love to like do that. But as I've talked with her as she's prepping, she's like doing all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to hadn't thought that you needed to do that or like, what is it? And yes, we could watch YouTube videos and yes, we could just go do it and figure it out. But instead, I said, hey, I'm going to toss a little idea out there. Next summer, if you think like you want to like pull a bunch of couples or friends, like no kids, and you're going to Lake Powell and you're going to get the houseboat, I said, would you consider putting us on the list? Because we would love to do that with our family. And they interrupted me right there and said, yes, there is so much you need to know to have it run smooth, go good, all the things like, yes, you need to experience it first. Like everything that I had wanted to do, they were immediately like, yeah. And they're like, couples party, yes. And I was like, okay. Now, will it actually happen next summer? I don't know. But I threw it out there. Is it just
Yep.
another? line and we'll see. But then a couple weeks later, she throws me in a group text and says, hey, who wants to go boating? Just moms. We're going to drop all the kids off at school. She doesn't have kids, but she invited other people. So she's like, let's meet right after school drop off and we'll be back right before everybody gets back. It's like, was like a really warm fall day, really warm fall day, like one of the last times to go boating. And I thought, okay, I was friendly enough, invited her to stuff, and then one
Yep.
came back. One came back
Yep.
to me. So good. Okay, last thing. My
Okay.
last tip is it goes along with a favorite quote of mine, which I learned is also a favorite quote of yours, Julie. It's from We Bought a Zoo, right? I don't know if I'm going to quote it exactly right, but it says, all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage, and I promise something good will come of it. Did I get that close enough? Yeah.
Mhm.
That is one that I love. I use it in business, I use it in life, and obviously I use it in friends. That 20 seconds of going, all right, I'm walking over to this girl's table. Her name's Julie. She was a great speaker. And I'm just going to walk up and say, hey, I want to be your new best friend. And that was probably about 20 seconds, maybe less. And then I
Yep.
figured out what the answer was. And I was uncomfortable, right? I was willing to be uncomfortable, to be in that awkward space for a few seconds, to have something so good come out of it. Here we are a year and a half later. I'm on your
Yep.
podcast. We're talking about friendship and connection. We've met up, several times.
Mhm.
To girl recently, I got to be your paparazzi while you spoke on stage, right? Who knew? But 20 seconds of courage got me here to know
Yep.
this beautiful soul that speaks about connection all over,
Mhm.
like, and it's 20 seconds.
Yep.
So those are
It's
my
20
those are my big
seconds.
4 tips.
I'm obsessed. Thank you for coming on the podcast today. I think this is so needed, and you're right. I think it's like we're all lonely. Not maybe not all of us. I think a lot of us are though. Like I think a lot of us are. I feel like I am pretty like friendly with people. Like I'm pretty confident in talking to people, and I get lonely a lot. So I know people that aren't that they struggle more socially to like be the one to first say it, and they're lonely. And I'm just like, how much lonelier would I be? Like, it takes intention in our day and age. Like, it does. It is not the natural way our society runs anymore to speak face to face as much.
Yes.
And there is some incredible things that technology provides, like this, where we can do a podcast virtually as both like busy moms and business owners. And there are some drawbacks if you let it be. And so I think this conversation is so crazy valuable. Thanks for being here, girl.
Yeah. Thanks for having
And
me.
for saying the best quote ever. Thank you, listeners. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on I See You. Hey, friends. If you haven't been to ICUliving.com yet, check it out. This is our cozy corner of the internet where all things ICU live. Weekly podcast episodes, our ICU events, our newsletter sign up, our women's group, my books, the ICU cuffs, and our Shopwell Seawell affiliate store. We know human connection restores mental health and builds resilience because we've lived it. So come on over to ICUliving.com. We saved you a seat.